let's move on to our last topic. Ian, that is your topic.
Yep, and that is another major topic that's out on the news feeds lately, and that is, of course, Kaepernick not standing for the national anthem. So, kind of want to get your guys' thoughts and feelings on that. I know that, of course, Alan, you're up in Canada. I don't know if you heard about that much.
I don't know. I've seen pictures of this man with a foe, and I see him kneeling, and I have no idea what is going
Right.
on.
So, just to give a brief thing is that I think it was a few weeks ago when it first started.
Okay.
Kaepernick is the now backup quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, which is a football team. And during the national anthem, of course, everyone stands. Most of the time takes your hat off, put your hand over your heart, but you at least stand. So, but he sat, and he was virtually the only guy on the field, at least, that did not stand up. So, and people have mixed emotions on it. Like, they say that it's disrespectful and he should have stand, but then some people are like, hey, that's his right, like, to kind of protest the anthem. So, didn't know, like, what your guys' thoughts and feelings were on that.
That's the reason he's just doing it just to do it, or
He believes that he believes that to stand for an anthem means that you are content and proud of what America is doing currently in its current status quo.
Yeah.
In his view, the current status quo in America is that there's a social injustice going on, and that needs to improve, a la Black Lives Matter movement, to reform police brutality and unjust arrestings and stuff like that. Until that has been solved, he doesn't believe that America is where he thinks it needs to be, and therefore not proud where it is. So like his protest is like, look, you're standing for a flag because you think you've done what you need to do, or America is fine for you, but it's not fine for me. So I'm sitting in protest because I will stand when this is solved. It's kind of, as a horrible example, it's like Brad and Angelina did not want to get married until gays could be married. That was their stance on marriage, and they didn't want to partake into it until they thought their idea of marriage was met, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's kind of similar.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. I mean, because you get a lot of people saying, you stand up and you, it's kind of like showing support to the men and women that have fought for your country.
Sure.
You want to show that respect, but then again, there's military people saying, hey, that's why we did that. So he has that right to be able to do that.
Right.
He can protest that. So it's a lot of different mixed emotions on that, and I'm kind of torn the same way, like. Because I'm like, you know what, you should respect and, do that standing, because those people that sacrifice so much for you to be actually able to play football. But then again, like, hey, that's actually why they did that, is so you're able to do it. So
think about it too, right? Like, the way I look at it is that standing, it almost feels like when you stand and honor the people who have fought and died, it's almost a feeling of like completion. Like, they did it. Like, let's stand, let's celebrate, right? But these people right now, like, it's constantly evolving. Like, they're not done. Job's not done. Like, we're fighting continuously, but like, there's still more work to be done. So I don't know if celebrating like, it feels like maybe celebrating too early. Like, and to protest that, somewhat fitting. It's also the platform that gives him the most exposure. And like, he can't go out and just throw ducks, right? Like, that doesn't help anybody. But to sit during an anthem is efficient in the way that, like, look, this is me making a statement, and I'm going to continue to make a statement. So it's an easy way to get that point across, right? The other issue I take with is people are burning his jersey, right?
what's funny about that is that his jersey is now the #1 selling jersey out there. So it's just like, okay, these people are buying it to burn it. It's like you're actually supporting them.
That's ridiculous.
The merch guy in the NFL is just like, I love it.
So they're burning Kaepernick's jersey, but just as a tidbit, I shared this on Facebook, so you might have seen it. But Bruce Miller was a running back for the 49ers. He recently just got arrested for assaulting a 70-year-old man and his son. In 2015, he was arrested for domestic violence.
So he's scum.
Nobody's burning his jersey, and nobody is saying that he's crap and a quote-unquote pussy and should leave America.
Shouldn't you say penis?
Or penis.
Yeah.
Well, I said
Yeah.
quote unquote because that is what people are
Penis.
saying. So yeah, I think we have a major. I don't even know what to call it. Like,
People are more focused on, I think, I'm not going to say something stupid, but like it just the media puts it in our face more.
Yeah, I was
than
gonna
the
say
other thing.
it's gonna be whatever story shows up on the the Facebook sidebar that
Yeah.
ends up hitting the most people. Like they can spend as much time as they want on. We talked about this, how the media manipulates what we talk about, but
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. Is like if that was trending, like that's the thing. As I see Copernic's name show up like every day for like the last 2 weeks or whatever his name is.
Copernicus.
I still don't think. I disagree in this. So I agree and disagree at the same time. I agree that it's definitely because media shoves in our face, right? But where I disagree is that our reaction to it is media agnostic. There are people with just visceral reactions to anti-military, irrational visceral reactions, right? He doesn't stand. This guy is the worst type of person ever, let alone a rapist. Got 6 months in jail, and nobody's freaking out
exactly.
about that, right? Like we have a
Right.
disproportioned prioritization of issues in this culture that is beyond me, and it's
But-
almost like you belong in North Korea for the amount of like love and like irrational like
But don't you know how
traditions
that?
for the flag, right?
Don't you know why that's the way it is in North Korea? Is because of like media propaganda. Like that's what I'm saying. Like all of that, we're like this military gung ho. You stand for the flag. That's because we have films about how America is great and like how our military tradition is amazing. Like that's always going to be drilled into our minds because we have this
really
long
good point.
history of the military being successful and like America is like the #1 military nation. Like we honor our veterans. We've done everything there is possible to do. Even in the military, it's all about your brotherhood and like standing up for your fellow man and everything like that. So I think that is a big part of
That's a
like
good point.
that media, bias or whatever for what this guy is doing, disrespecting the nation. And that's the thing, is like America was founded on like these like revolutions and everything. So it's really big deal to be instilled, like have to do with military
Yeah.
elements, I think. I think that's why it really hits a note with people.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you guys know, I went to military school. I do have like some, sense of respect for standing for the national anthem and respect for the colors and everything. But at the same time, I think I agree with what most people, or not most people, some people are saying is like that is this guy's right to not stand. That's like the whole point of America in the first place, right?
Right.
Like that's what the founding, father said. It's like the right to be free and have your own ideas and beliefs and everything. So I think, like some of the veterans are saying, like that is literally why they go out there and fight.
Right.
That's
so
crazy,
people can
'cause,
have the
like,
choice to do whatever they want to do.
And I respect that when they say things like that, which from my experience, most veterans have been saying that. They go, look,
Right.
that's absolutely his right. This is why we're out there. Stop freaking out. I don't
Yeah.
agree with it, but this
Yeah,
is
exactly.
absolutely his right to do it. So don't act like he has to stand.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you guys heard. Well, I don't know if you heard about this, or this is gonna be saved for a later topic. But you heard about them trying to take Pledge of Allegiance out of school, right?
They've been trying to do that for a while, right?
Yeah,
Right.
a long time.
Okay, I didn't know. All right,
Yeah.
well, sorry.
No, I just mean to say that, like, yeah, I've heard about it, and this
Come
has
on,
been going on
Steve.
for a while. But outside
Yeah,
of that,
okay.
I don't know if
Because they took
why
cursive
or
out.
how. Okay.
That's crazy, right? Like, I mean, I can still kind of write cursive, I probably don't know how to make a Z, but
Yeah.
So Kaepernick is also not the only one kneeling
there's
anymore.
others
There's a
now.
couple people, and Marshall.
That's
Oh yeah,
Brandon
because they want to get their
Marshall-
jersey sold too. So yeah, of
That's
course.
not why. Brandon Marshall, linebacker for Broncos, was kneeling, and the credit union or some endorsement has stopped supporting him.
Ooh.
So he has
Hey,
lost
that's the
endorsements for
effect.
doing that, right?
and honestly, it's unfortunate, but that's going to be the cause and effect on some things. Some
Yeah.
people agree with it, some people don't, and that's also their right.
Yeah.
So and what's that?
I don't know. I was gonna say something stupid, but I didn't say it.
Now say it. You got to say it now.
No, I
Don't
can't
say
say
it. Don't say it.
I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Do you guys know? Do you guys know why we
we do that during sporting events. Like, I don't go to anything else, and we have to like, listen to the national anthem. Yeah, like if I went to a play and we like all up
the birthing of your child.
Oh my god, that's such a good
It's
point.
a really good point.
Like, why is like sports like associated with patriotism and America? I think that's an interesting thing that's being shown here. Is like there's this like
connection
relationship between them, right? Like it's always about like exactly. I don't go to a play and they talk about like being patriotism or doing a play for the military or things like that. You don't go to a comedy show, like all these things.
I don't.
Stand-up comedy.
That's actually a great question though, because the thing is like, I don't know. I kind of want to say it all started with baseball, because you remember when like they had that thing where they all had to go to World War II, or it was World War One. I don't know which one it was, but they everybody from like baseball like went overseas. Like they had to stop baseball at one point. So I want to say it originated with that. I want to say it originated with that. And that's why it's so associated with all that. But I don't know.
Because I was going to say maybe because it's like a competition kind of thing.
Clay's probably looking it up.
I'm looking up right now, yeah.
Because like that's... Because like I'm just... Yeah, because you're right. You're absolutely right. Like you don't do it at any other... like you don't do it before a concert. I mean, that's huge too.
Going out to dinner. Everyone has to stand up.
I mean, no, I'm trying to think of like another event like people would do it at, like, you know what I mean, besides a sporting event. Like that's like,
it's interesting because I think not just in the U.S. is that a tradition. I think like most sporting events around the world that happens.
Yeah,
like I watch soccer
in
Europe, and in any of those soccer competition, even just like the local country ones, they do it.
Well, in Canada, you said they do it in the theaters when you first moved there, didn't you?
No.
That was like something the history. Okay, that was something.
They have like some like little blurb about the War of 1812, and I was just like, what?
Between America or something like that?
Yeah, between America. It was like back in 1812 when we beat the Americans, and I was just like, what? Like I don't remember any of this. But no, in Thailand they do the King's Anthem, which is like for the royal family. They do that before movies. And I think lots of other different events. I don't know if you can hear me, but and you have to stand literally at the movie theater. They play the King's Anthem. Everybody stands up, like as if it was the national anthem, and you wait till it's over, and you're silent and respectful, and then you continue watching the movie.
Did you
sit
down?
I bet you if Kaepernick was there.
No, I stood up. I didn't want to sit there like die hard about the royal family. Like you will get killed if you disrespect the royal family. Wow. Yeah.
Exactly, like I was saying, if Kaepernick was there and he was kneeling for that, they would probably have hung him.
I mean, yeah, he would have some issues, I think. But that's different. I mean, it's a different nation, and it's like that's the whole thing about U.S. is like you can do whatever you want. Well, not pretty much whatever you want, but.
But I mean, there's going to be some residual effects to it because people will not agree with that, and just like Miller, lose endorsements, which in turns he loses money.
Yeah. And so maybe that's a good test to see if he continues to do it. If he still continues to do it, then that means it must be a really important issue for him. Like money is not the issue; it's about some social injustice or anything like that. So I think that's fine. A good cause and effect.
So a couple points. It started in 1942 with baseball.
World War II.
So World War II,
and
it was a way to
feel so smart.
To feel unionized, right, and to honor the people who are fighting right now is definitely in a time of need. So it was out of like not desperation, but like necessity to be like, look, we're okay and we're in this together. So, and this is a very common consecutive way that people get together. So when everybody's together like this in a large venue, let's also support the people who are fighting in a cause that we believe in. And then it just stuck, right? More because baseball was the prime and most loved sport, whatever other sports followed suit. Then there's a nice other tidbit that says there are no anthems played before a French league soccer game or German handball league or Japanese rugby game.
I don't think France does because they're very like anti-government, like outspoken anything for the most part. I think like no like religion is kind of like not done or what's the word, displayed openly in France as well. So anything that would have to do with like God save whatever, that would definitely be ruled out immediately.
Yeah, we should just tear down the Statue of Liberty. Because of the French, just to spite them.
French are pretty cool people.
Just kidding.
So yeah, that's pretty much what I found. It's also
Canada.
It's also interesting. A writer notes this as being a literal grenade, like battle cry taunt, right? So it's because sports are very combative, right? It's almost like we're about to do this, we're about to fight, like blah blah blah. But yeah, I think Billy makes a really great point, and I think there's not really a need. The social media takes care of that, right? Yeah. There's more users on Facebook connected than there ever will be at any arena or venue. If the point is to grab everybody together, right, at a certain point and honor the national anthem, it almost feels like Facebook would be the right thing. I'm not saying that it should be at all, but really, if you're going to modernize it, right, that's where it would be. It doesn't really belong in sports too much anymore. And then you just go down to the types of personalities, right? Like the conservatives tend to be more. The people who are upset about this tend to be more traditionalists. We do this because we've done this for years, and I don't question it. And I wear white at a wedding, and I wear, you know what I mean? They don't even bother to move with times, and that's why they're called conservatives. So they're just inherently going to have a problem with this. And the theme seems to be of this show is, like Alan pointed out, is the question, to ask why, respectively. Why are we doing this? Does it still need to be done? Where does it belong? Stuff like that, right? So if you can continue to do that in a respectful manner, I think maybe more people will be because it leads to anger, and anger just brings out the worst in you. So I just see a lot of things on Facebook.
Anger.
Yeah,
hate
right?
leads to suffering.
Funny joke. So yeah, then you just get people just being bigots and ignorant. It sucks.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing with the election right now too. Is people that are really stuck with not wanting to change because we've done things this way for so long, versus people that were just dying for change and evolution of what it means to be America nowadays versus what it might have meant to be an American in the 1800s, late 1800s. And I think the world as it is today is way different than it was back then.
Totally.
Okay, well, we can definitely all change that right now, guys. So if you guys would join me. Rise, please rise.
Take your hat off, Steve. Take your hat off.
Steve's got sunglasses on.
Yeah, dude. If I stand, my headphones are going to be
you got to take everything off, man. Show respect.
Take your pants off, too.
Jeez, yes.
Don't be a penis, Steve.
Come on, quit being a penis.
Put them on for that.
Take your pants off. Take your hat off.
We don't wear pants. You know we don't wear pants.
Take your pants off.
My headphones get ripped
or I'll burn them. You're dishonoring our flag. You traitor scum.
Levi's. I'm burning them all.
You were the only one that stood up.
All right, guys. That's been another episode of the Everything and Nothing Show. I just want to thank Billy and Michelle from Updog Toys for joining us very early.
Thank you guys.
Go back to bed after this.
You.
I promise.
Thanks for having us.
It's been a pleasure. Yeah, absolutely. If you guys want to know more about them and their Updog toy, you can go to updogtoys.com. You can see the Odin, which is an amazing, modern, sleek-looking toy that feeds your pet as well as entertains them. You can also check out Odin, who is a lovable, beautiful corgi on Instagram. Follow him to see all of his antics and crazy stuff. I'm sure he's going to be friends with Friday pretty soon. That'd be cool. Cat, dog, living together is mad chaos, just like Ghostbusters.
Great show, too.
Yes. This has been very entertaining. We got really political, which is par for the course this year. I'm really, really exhausted and hoping that we don't talk about anything political next year once this is done, so we can just focus on video games and fun stuff. So yeah, you can get all of these episodes topic by topic on youtube.com/Maelstrom Gamers channel. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. It's super helpful, and it's a free way to support us. Again, if you got that little buck hanging around you found in the laundry, you found in the dryer, go on to patreon.com/Maelstrom Gamers. Just give us that buck. We want that money. Just give us that $1. We'll take it, and then we'll make something out of it. You will probably just buy your fifth coffee for the day.
Make a cute little origami paper.
Yeah. We can
buy
totally
a Kaepernick jersey.
Or just buy a Kaepernick jersey. Right. Exactly. So yeah, and then last but not least, check us out when we're streaming games. Look, we're not the best. We're not the worst.
We're not the worst.
But we are entertaining.
God, that sucks, dude.
That sucks. We gotta figure out something else. What if we did this? What if we did this? I saw this.
Ian said too many parts too. He was
he was majorly entertaining, like way too many syllables, an extra word in there. What if we did this? What if it's we'll play 2 games because we'll double up and then we all did at the same time. That would be kind of fun.
It would be fun, but I don't know why we have the coordination.
We'll figure it out. join us next week on Everything and Nothing Show, where we figured it out finally on what we're going to do. And then we'll have 5 more topics for your entertainment.
Double up.
Peace. Take care.
Adios.